Hi, I'm Dr. Walter Matwychuk, and in today's intermittent reinforcement email, I discuss a fundamental premise of rational emotive behavior therapy. Ellis argued that at the core of emotional disturbance was rigidity, or what he sometimes called demandingness. He argued that when we have highly treasured desires, highly valued goals, that it was easy for the human mind to transform these wants and wishes into dogmatic and rigid ideas. It was a natural thing from a person to say, I really want you to like me, to you absolutely have to do so. Now, Ellis argued that REBT was perfect logic. The problem was that some people significantly resisted adopting flexible attitudes. He also pointed out that some people have greater difficulty holding flexible attitudes towards important matters than other people do. So, for example, one person may say, I really want the approval of significant others. And another person will say, I really want the approval of significant others, and I absolutely have to have it. That the second person will be more inclined to transform or escalate their desire into a rigid, absolutistic must. One of the things that I've noticed is that we derive the greatest benefit from rational emotive behavior therapy when it is most difficult to adopt a flexible attitude. It's ironic, but when we are most challenged to think that we must have our way, if we are able to chip away at that self-defeating, rigid attitude, we're in the best position to adapt to not getting what we want from reality. We are in the best position to function despite our great misfortune. Now, we'll still have a negative emotion. We'll still have disappointment or displeasure or sadness, but that negative emotion will allow us to function and live well with what we can't change and go about changing what we can. So in today's REBT intermittent email message, I want to challenge you. I want you to examine the quality of your thinking the next time you're upset and see that it is impossible to hold a flexible attitude and at the same time be upset. You can't say to yourself, I really want you to do what I want you to do, and at the same time be angry. You can't say things must be a certain way and at the same time only be disappointed and accept reality as it is. This idea that rigidity and acceptance are fundamentally incompatible states of mind is at the core of the theory of REBT, and I would encourage you to seriously reflect on it. Flexibility in the face of misfortune and adversity is the only path to acceptance. Now, acceptance doesn't mean you like the state of affairs that you are facing, that you want them to continue. Acceptance is a form of emotional acknowledgement that allows you to see that all the conditions are in place for a particular set of conditions, negative conditions to exist, to acknowledge those conditions and to change those conditions that are changeable and to move on if they're not. So step back the next time you find yourself angry or depressed or terribly shameful, and see that you're making a demand. That demand, that rigid thinking, is either on yourself, on other people, or on life conditions. And then work with yourself. Try to adopt a flexible stance towards whatever adversity you are facing and see what happens. I dare you to adopt a flexible attitude at the most difficult moment that occurs. Thank you for listening to this email message, and I hope that in the future you'll join me on Saturday when I hold my Zoom conversation hour. During this hour, I take a volunteer and I conduct a REBT conversation with them and show them how they're using rigid attitudes to disturb themselves. At the end of the 35-minute conversation, I then accept questions that people have submitted about the conversation or about the theory and philosophy of REBT and answer a few of them. I hope you can join me, and if you'd like to attend this conversation hour, send me an email at rebtdoctor@gmail.com. And I'll be happy to send you a Zoom invitation. Again, that email address is rebtdoctor@gmail.com. It's held every Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern, and that's 2 p.m. in the United Kingdom and at various other times across Europe. I hope that you can join me and see you on Saturday.